I did want to pop this into the video this time around. Did a little bit of organizing on the craft room. After I got back from my recent retreat, I had to put things away and figure out how I could make it easier to work in here with all the projects and things going. So what I did is, this unit used to have my Kenmore sewing machine on it, and I took that down because it needs service and it wasn't really getting used like I use my featherweight. So I decided to bring the one of the units. I have one under this sewing machine, and then I had this other one on the other machine. So I took it out to stack them, and I like the way that looks. It's nice and neat, and I can get to my ironing supplies and paper craft supplies, things like that are in there. There's still a unit in the closet as well that has, you know, other craft supplies in it, but I'm still got a work in progress in there. I guess I can share real quick. One of my friends from church gave me a bunch of supplies that I'm still going through. I've only gone through a couple of the containers and put things away, but it's mostly embroidery and lots of ribbons and things, so I got to figure out storage for ribbons, the best way to do that. So things in there, some things I won't be keeping, but I just need to get time to do that with the retreat and then the lake adventures. We just haven't had time to start that yet. I did a little rearranging. I think I've posted on my socials as well as my YouTube in here. I took my NPIs off of here like I was mentioning in the past, so that I don't really have my overdyes or silks or anything in here anymore. It's mostly all crafts, and cross stitch fabrics are still in process, but they are kind of organized by count in the back there with all of my books. And then, like I shown before, all the craft supplies are on this left side here. The only yarn things in here anymore are just yarn whips, like knitting and crochet whips. They're in those plastic containers. And a lot of the frames and things and I don't know what you call them, boxes that I've bought that I want to try and recover and redo inside of them are all up in there. But I'm hoping in the next month to take all of that from this section all the way over off of there and see how many of my pattern books I can put up there that are here in the craft room in this cupboard. All of those up in there. See how many I can fit. If I can find a unit, maybe even a bookshelf that will fit up there and stack them height-wise, because I don't go to my books very often, but when I do, I'll know that they're all right here in this closet. That's kind of my plan. Other than that, like I said, the cross-stitch supplies and just crafty supplies for beads and jewelry and charms and Q-snaps and all that are in this closet. So that's my plan for trying to keep it neat and organized. And that way when these do come out, what I can hopefully do is put some of the things that are on the counters into those shelves. I was able to move my sewing machine from that corner over here because it'll be much easier for me to sit on this side and sew with my desk over there. It was kind of getting in the way. Right now I've got all my Flosstube stuff out because I'm in process of recording, so once that is all put away, it'll be a lot neater looking. Over here is the whips and the kitted whips for or kitted projects for cross stitch, and then just have like scissors and things up on top there. My storage for my DMC is still on the wall. I'm still working on floss organization, so that will happen. This is stuff I want to cover on my Flosstube, so we'll get to that shortly. I did buy a unit there for a refrigerator when I went under the retreat. Came in handy in the room, and now I've just stored it here in the cross stitch or corner for just drinks, and got a couple snacks in there. yogurt, etc. If I'm in here and get hungry, I'll have a small mini fridge to not have to go out into the kitchen for. But I was kind of tired of this unit hiding like my clock in the corner. I can easily cut over here now or kit things up. That's what this is my in-process projects, IPPs. But I was able to move the unit that was up on that corner onto the two bookshelves here behind my whip things. But I used to have those separated across. One was on the other side of the desk and one was there, and thought if I put the two units together, then this unit I was able to attach to the back, so it's kind of its own unit next to the cutting table. And then in this corner over here is all of my UFOs, unfinished objects for sewing, and I'll need to do a quilt tube for that, and I'd like to go through each one and just share the projects that I've started. And I think if I do that, it'll really help me focus on once you start going through things like you do with your whips, you start seeing all the things that you started, and it gets you excited to get back to them. So I'm hoping that parade of unfinished objects will do that for me in my sewing area. And then my quilt tube will have a little more content, and I will feel like I can do them more than every couple months, because that's what it's been since I did my last one. These are pretty much organized. I'm still trying to figure out the best way to organize my fabrics. I don't have any, well, there is a couple, I guess you'd call them wool and applique projects that I've kitted underneath. A couple of those units have those. And their bookshelf that I had in that corner, you really can't see it with my Flosstube stuff here, but this unit used to angle a different way, and I decided to put it flat so I could get to the containers. And I took off some of those acrylic drawers. I used to have them stacked on the cutting table, and thought once I get things put away, it'll be much more spacious, and I can just go down there. Most of it is for floss rings and things like that. So I am starting to kit up some new adventures with English paper piecing and things that I see people doing that I want to try. So I've gathered some materials and put them down in there to start looking at that as well. But other than those changes, I did end up using, I don't know if you can see it, it's down here. Oops, sorry. This is the unit that I purchased from IKEA, and it was in the corner over there, and it was just really in the way. So when I moved the green unit that had the 3 drawers in it, this one fit perfectly underneath here with my lamp still under there that is actually a shorter lamp. The other one that I had was really tall, but I like the shorter because it's closer to the sewing machines. And then the tall unit I put over here. So if I'm doing anything on the quilting area, I'll have that here or here on this desk unit. I usually clean this off when I'm getting a box off, and this makes a handy table for that. Other than storage suggestions, if anyone has a suggestion for, what do you call these, hoops? Right now I'm just kind of storing them on my mannequin, but as you can see, it's kind of full. And I don't really like the clutteredness of them hanging in my closet because they were falling off every time I would go in there to get something. So any suggestions on how people store their hoops would be appreciated. And I currently have most of my magnets, if they're not in a project, just in the back here, hanging on a magnet board with my mannequin that I kept in this corner, because if I put it anywhere else, it's just going to be in the way. I change it out once in a while. I took my shirt off that I wore for the retreat that was on there that said Sable Stitchers, and just put a crocheted piece that I had made over a year ago. I made that, and it's like a shawl, but I just draped it over that for now. But that's kind of my reorg in here since, 2 months ago, when I was just kind of overwhelmed with all the stuff that I had and how I was going to actually get in here and sit and actually sew. But so back to the actual floss tube. I will insert this in here. Hi Flosstube, it's Linda Richter, Richter Stitcher from YouTube. This is Flosstube number 24, and it's been at least 2 months since I've been on, so there's a lot in front of me, and I'll probably be breaking and pausing and inserting different things just because there's so much. What's happened the last 2 months? I do have some notes, so I am going to be looking down a little bit just so that I make sure that I cover it all. It's summer. It's August the 6th today. We're in the 90s again. There's been a lot of back and forth between 100 to 90 and staying inside a lot, and a lot of events, indoors, not so much out unless we're at the lake, and then you'll see my posts, of course, with the dock and the different things that we're doing there. And of course I've got a dry throat and I haven't just started talking. So I will probably have to take a drink now and then. But yeah, life things have, mainly been the lake usually every weekend. Of course now the sun's going to come in and you're going to get all kinds of blind spots. But we go up every weekend usually, and we're in the process of moving our slip from one marina to another. That's happened in the last year, but the last few months has been kind of crazy trying to set things up, but we are enjoying it, and we want to get it done so that we can enjoy it out there. So that's been happening pretty much every weekend. Between that and seeing the grandbaby, it's actually been almost 3 weeks. It will be this coming Sunday that I haven't seen my little princess. Briar. She's going to be 3 in January. I can't believe that already, but she's talking a lot more. She's growing. Still trying to potty train her, but hopefully that'll happen with Mom working every day. It's just a little harder, so trying to encourage her. Any tips out there for what y'all do? I mean, I remember when mine were babies. It wasn't a struggle too bad, but I don't remember the particular things that I did to help them to, tell you to go, it's time to go potty, Mommy. So just some funny things that's happened. My daughter told me that when Daddy's watching her, she'll bring him her diaper, which is hilarious to me because I don't remember my kids ever taking their diaper off. So that's telling me she's probably ready to be potty trained. But other than, missing her, hopefully see her here in the next week. We had a retreat that I went on, and it's been 2 weeks ago, but lots happened since that 2 weeks. A lot of organizing, of course, and trying to find where to put things. I'm always struggling with that, so I'll probably insert in my video somewhere just the updates of what I've done in here. I made a recording prior to making this video, so I had things sitting out when I was sharing, but hopefully you can get the gist of kind of where things are at and what I've put away and how I want to work in here when I come in my craft room. The boxcar retreat was wonderful. I will share a little bit more about that shortly, and all the haul, of course, the things that were purchased. I did have a couple finishes only because of the retreat, I think. Otherwise, I'd probably still be plugging away at those, but because there was an exchange, I wanted to have that for a finish and fully finish that, as well as one of the classes that I took. They were teaching you how to do a round finish, so I wanted to be sure there was the right size piece for that finish. So I did get a couple finished, but I also started a couple new ones. So my whip count is still right around 52. Hopefully I can get serious about a schedule and how I want to get some of these, especially the smaller ones, finished. Because, you know, once you're on a retreat, you see all the things that people are doing. You just get encouraged to want to finish some things. So I'll share the ones that I started as well. I guess first we'll go ahead and, let's see, maybe I'll share some of the haul that I've purchased in the time since my last Flosstube, as well as I've had some crochet finishes and just things that I wanted to try and actually finished. So I'll share those probably first. I'll grab them from behind here. Sorry for the crinkling. My microphone hopefully won't pick up too much, but I think it's bright enough in here to share. I purchased some rings. They're 3-inch rings. This is a 12 pack, and I've used 1, 2, 3, 4. I think there's 4 left in there, so I've used all but 4. And I can link all these underneath if you're interested in the things that I've made. But the first one that I made, I mean, it kind of looks like a purse, but its purpose is to hold a tea towel or some kind of a towel, and you just kind of, if they don't fall off my lap, you wrap it around your handle in your kitchen or on a door frame. I do have mine on a towel rack next to my coffee maker for this one, but I just found a tutorial and I can't remember the name of it, but I will link it below if anyone's interested, of the stitch that I used to do that. And it was super simple. And so when I did this one, the yarn is almost like a t-shirt yarn, so I wanted to try different textures. So I will just share real quickly, all the ones that I've made. This one was a little bit of a thicker yarn, same style or design stitch, but just different yarns, so they make them look a little different. So I did 2. Then this one's a real soft, velvety kind of yarn. And that was 3. They really stitched up fast. I think I did it within a couple days. I actually made 2 that had that same. So there was 4 of those, and then the last one was the real heavy t-shirt yarn. Almost could use it as a purse and line it, but that's how that one turned out. A little more bulky, but still very happy with them, and I will use these as gifts at Christmas or what have you for people that I want to gift to. So that was some fun finishes for yarn. A couple more things. I wanted to make a bunch of these for the retreat, but ran out of time, and stick them in the bag that I made. But what they are is just a regular, and you can use all different sizes. I'm going to lay down a couple of these so I can get the clips out and just show you the sizes. I had these really large paper clips, or you can use medium-sized ones or really tiny ones. And what you do is you just crochet around them after you bend the paper clip. I don't want to bend it right now, but you would just take both of these ends and kind of just bend it down to make the shape of the heart. I don't know if you can tell from the back of that. But what they are is, I don't have a book here, but you can slip your book or your paper, maybe your notepad. I can kind of share as a bookmark. Just kind of bend it a little. It's kind of hard to do with this paper, but as you can see, it goes on the bookmark like that. So that's kind of what I was thinking as a little bookmark for everyone, but I only was able to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them made up, and I needed 25 or 24 really, but ran out of time for that. So I'll just keep going at these and maybe put them in stockings or as birthday little gift things for people. So that was a fun little thing. I had seen one of those Instagram things where somebody was making it and I had to try it, so that was another yarn project. Sorry for my throat. I'm not quite sure what's going on. I don't talk much during the day when no one's here, so maybe that's it. And then I get on here and I just start losing my voice. So that was a second finish for crochet. And then the last crochet item that I made, I just finished this yesterday. It's a little thank you kind of a gift for someone that I want to give. And it's just a little amigurumi turtle. So I had found a YouTube, of course, of this and said I have to try. So of course you have to make each little feet or whatever turtles, I guess they have legs. They're little legs. There's 2 small ones and 2 big ones. Then of course the head with the little eyes, safety eyes, and then I stuffed it with just polyfill. And then I made the shell for the back, and then did some little long embroidery stitches for the top. Oh, and there's a little tail at the back. So I thought that was really cute, and this person I'm gifting it to loves turtles, and I just thought I would put that in the bag and give that to her. So I think she knows who she is, but I wanted to share my finish of that before I give it away. So that was fun to make. And it didn't take too long. I did the little feet and legs and stuff up at the lake, and then yesterday I put all the pieces together. Wow, I hope I don't lose my voice on you. And then the other make I just wanted to share, and then we'll get into the retreat and all the things that happened there. It was such a blessing, but I'll probably share this on my Quilttube too. But since it was my table gift for everybody, I kind of knew everybody was bringing little things for everybody, and I just thought, well, being in Texas and it's a retreat, I wanted to kind of have that theme, even though it was a Christmas in July theme. I just thought, well, I didn't really know the theme when I first started making these, and I'll insert some pictures of my process and all the ones that I made, but I just wanted to share here also. This is the bag. These are the ones that have the 2 pockets. Purchased a few of those on Amazon. I had quite a few already, but I needed a few more, so I just went and got another set so that I could put the bag that I actually made, which I lined and put the little zippers in with a little made with love and a star little fob on it. I don't know if you can see that. And it's the red, white, and blue Texas flag little handle, and of course I lined it with a Texas flag lining. Some of them were solid, some of them had the Texas flags on it. One of my stitchy friends, Suzanne, really helped me to figure out how to put the star on top of the bag, which was, to me, the hardest part besides the actual zipper. Once I did a few of them, of course after doing 27 or 8 is how many I made, because I just wanted to have a few extra. I finally figured it out. So from the first one that I made to the 27th one that I made, you could tell a difference, but it was really fun to learn all those steps. So that was my table gift to all the ladies at the retreat, which I was very happy to do, and learned a lot while I was doing it. This is the pattern I used, if anyone is wondering. It's the little glam bag, and it's through, well, I got this at Pink Sands Beach Designs. They're not far from me here in Frisco, so Suzanne had mentioned to me that she had made these for a retreat, and I thought, well, that would be perfect for the Texas flag being a Texas retreat, so that's why I did that, and I hope the ladies that I gifted them to really enjoy them. I, of course, kept one for myself as well so that I could enjoy it and remember the retreat. I put a little butterfly on the bags as well so that all the retreaters would know who it was from, and then I put the date as well as my social Richter Stitcher so that they would know who that was from. So those are just some ideas. If I go to another retreat, I can think of other things to do. I think it was Sherry on Colorado Cross Stitcher had mentioned on her Flosstube, just recent one that I watched, different things to make for retreat tables and stuff, so that was also insightful to listen to. I think those were pretty much my makes between now and the last time I was on. So I think we'll get into the actual retreat, which I had mentioned. It was just wonderful. Not experiencing that type of retreat before, I wasn't sure, you know, what it would be like, but I have mentioned in the past I've done women's retreats at my church, so getting together with other women is not something I didn't experience, so it was just not being there for a cross-stitch retreat, so I wasn't quite sure how the flow of things were going to go. And I did put out in my, I think it was last week, a snippet of me actually driving to the retreat and things that I packed, what it looked like, and that kind of a short video. I think it was only 30 minutes or so, but it kind of gave you the gist of what the facilities look like. So if you're interested in going back to look at that, it kind of gives those things. So I'm not going to share all that here. I might insert some pictures either at the beginning of this Flosstube or at the end of a few of the things that we did, but the actual time spent with, you know, the stitching is what I'll share here. If I don't lose my voice, I'm gonna have to take another drink. It gets really dry. I don't know what's going on. I didn't know what to pack, not realizing the time I would have to stitch, so of course I overpacked on the whips and things that I brought. I'll share one of the ones that mainly got stitched on when I first arrived there. It's the one that I'm doing with Katie's mom, Carolyn. We're doing Mary Jane Fry 1861. Let's see if I have a better picture. I think I've shared it last time, but I'll just kind of share where I'm at now. And it's not ironed, sorry. But I have finished the border before, and I think the last time I was sharing about the mistakes that I had to pull out, and I think there's still a couple more. I think I've fixed a few of the leaves because they were kind of off by 1 or 2 stitches, but the last time I shared it, we had just this pink inside border done. So while I was at the retreat, I was able to get the top pink all the way across and kind of stopped there. When we first got to the retreat on Thursday, it was pretty much unpacking and setting up your room, and they showed us to our tables, and the amount of space we had was wonderful. I mean, everything was wonderful, but I didn't imagine we would have a whole table. But it is a quilt center where they have retreats for quilting, so I guess when you quilt you need a lot of space, and that's why they had 8 tables set up in one unit, and another 8 tables, and then another 8 tables. So they were sitting 2 and 2, sitting across from each other, and then 2 on one end and then 2 on the other end. So there was a nice big area, and you were far enough away to be able to set all your stuff up. I can probably insert here some pictures of what my area looked like with my setup for my stitching. But this was the first one that I had pulled up and wanted to work on Thursday when we got settled after, you know, dinner. We were able to go back to our stitchy spots, and I think that night I stayed up till, I want to say 1:30ish. We were one of the last ones, me and my roommate Rita, to leave the stitching room, and I think the two on the opposite end of my table ended up leaving as well at the same time, so I wasn't sure how late people would stay up, and I do like to, when I'm with other people, like spending the night away from home, I will stay up late compared to when I'm home. I try to be in bed, you know, 10 or 11 o'clock at night, so I wanted to have that experience and have that time to stitch too, so that was fun to do. So with this one anyway, that's the only time I worked on her, but I did make a little bit of progress with her, which was a plus. So let me put that back in here. I didn't say I am using a Newcastle Country Mocha 40 count linen on this one, and we started this back in March on the 6th, which is what, April, May, June, 4 months ago, or actually almost 5 months ago. So I am using the called for flosses also with that, which are mostly DMC. I think that's what it called for. So those are my colors that I'm using. And this is the one that I've mainly been keeping out pretty much the last 4 or 5 months because I just don't want to put it away and forget about it. I've started a lot that I've actually put away, and they've been in my shelf for years. So that was the first night when I worked on that one. My other thought when I packed was to be sure I had my exchange finish, and that one I'm going to have to insert pictures, of course, because I had given it away, and one of the retreaters, Trish, was the one that picked my finish, and I ended up using, I think I shared the box on my last video, Flosstube, where I made a round finish, and this was before I had the round finishing class, so it didn't look as good as my second round finish, but I learned a lot in that class, so that was fun. But it is a free stitch called Stitch Sisters Sassafras Samplers, so I can share that with you. I did it in these colors, the pink and the blue, and the squirrels are actually brown, so it is considered a fall stitch. So when I wrapped my gift, and I can insert pictures, that was one thing I forgot to pack, was like a bag and tissue, and because they'd like you to, you know, decorate it so that the person picking your exchange would know what the contents might be, you know, related to whether it was Christmas or Valentine's or a fall. So since I had forgot those types of things, I knew I had brought extra fabrics and stuff, so I tried to decorate it with some nice cotton fabric that was fall colored, and then I had brought tons of ribbon and lace, so I found a nice size amount of lace to tie the actual tin box up in. So that was a fun experience when I realized that, well, besides the stitched piece that they're going to get, some finishing products that they could use on, you know, other things that they may want to use for finishing other pieces that they're actually stitching. So I thought that was kind of unique. So it didn't look real pretty, but it was still useful things, so I was happy with that finish. And hopefully Trish is happy with it as well. So that was a second full finish for me on my cross stitch pieces this past July. And then the second fully finished that I did, like I mentioned, was the piece, and I'm not going to share, I don't know if I have an actual picture of it. without showing the pattern, because it is in a Blackbird book by Blackbird. I can't remember the book, but I will insert pictures so that you know. The name of it is Berry Wreath, and it's a pincushion top is what it was, and I had started that. When did I start that? I didn't write down a date. But I do have what I made it on. It's a fabric, 18 count natural Rustico Ada fabric that I had started it on, and it was for Lisa Lost in Stitches. Her birthday sale last year is when I started that, and knowing that I needed a specific size for the finishing class, I made sure that I had the right measurements so that I could use that piece. And so knowing that, I had to finish that before the retreat. So that one was a finish just a couple days before we went to the retreat on the 25th of July. So I put a sticker in my book of that finish, and I think it was right around the 23rd or so of July when I finished it. And I will show you the completed work. And then I actually FFO'd it after the class when we finished it. But Trisha's also the one that did the finishing in the round class. So I am very pleased. I use a Teresa Kogut fabric on the back. And then the only thing I realized I didn't do once I got home is I didn't put my initials on this. But since it's a Christmas ornament, I might just find one of those 2024 pins and put that on here, knowing that I made it in 2024. And this little topper is one of the pins that we had made at the retreat, because there was also a pin class that we did. And I think her name was Cindy, that shared how to make the pins. And in my retreat recap, I shared, you know, pictures of us at the table making the pins and stuff. So this was, I thought, was a perfect red and green for Christmas. And then my roommate shared with me, I had brought this in some of my supplies, thinking maybe I would use it, and sure enough I did. The Kreinik custom quarter, and I had that, and my roommate Rita had shared with me that she would help me, because I've never used this. I've had this thing for years, and I had watched Vanna's recording of how she did cording, but I have never attempted it myself. So Rita helped me with getting some DMC floss, and I had brought extra floss but didn't have the green until we got our surprise box. So I kind of swiped a little out of that kit that we have in our surprise box, and I will replace it, but I thought this green would go perfect with the green in the pattern. But she helped me to cord it and get it tight enough, and I had pinned it until I got home, and when I got home and then unpacked, that was a finish that I did, is I put some tacky glue along the edge, and then she helped me to remember how to tie it. I took a couple pictures of things that she had done so that I would know how to do that, and then I will just hang this on my Christmas tree this year as my very first finished Christmas ornament, and it'll be always a reminder from the retreat that I made a finish in the round. Actually, I made two, but I really like the way this one turned out. I mean, the other one's pretty too, but I actually used hot glue a little bit, and on these I didn't use any hot glue. I think I probably won't, just because of the results that you get with hot glue are not as pretty as when you use the tacky glue and stretching the fabric and all the things that they taught us in the finishing class. So I will always remember that. And I'm going to have to get another drink of water. I actually might finish my water today. So those were my finishes from the retreat. Oops, I actually just turned on my scale. Turn that off. There we go. So I'll put these down here and out of the way. things that I have used and finished. I didn't share, but in the class they had given us a kit that we had purchased part of the retreat fund, but the ladder stitch, there's a little laminated card in there, which is going to be very helpful in the future if I need to finish something else, to remember how to close up the side. So those were nice little surprises that we got into our little packet when we got to our tables. There were things that I will share, some of the things, and then of course all the table gifts from our friends. I think that's probably what I'll do next. Just going to move some of this stuff off to the side so it doesn't get in my way. Got things everywhere. Put that up there. So that's what's over here. I guess we'll go ahead and start with the box that was at the table. It's kind of unpacked now, but these little glasses were fun little glasses. Everybody got a pair, and then when it came to taking a picture of the whole group, we took a picture without the glasses and with the glasses. So I didn't mention, but Jana and Katie were the two hosts that put this retreat together, and I know there were other people as well that had their hand in doing a lot of the things with the logos, and it was just neat to hear how it was all put together. So I know a lot of people put a lot of time and effort into making this a retreat for 24 of us ladies. I think one of the ladies couldn't make it at the last minute, so there were 23 of us, but it was just so special to interact with other stitchers on a 3-day stay and to see, you know, how much in common you have as stitchers is what was fun, and then to get to know new ones. Celeste from Celeste Creates was there at the retreat. She drove up from, I think she lives in the Houston area, and that was so sweet to get to meet another Flosstuber. Been watching her for a while. When I first started stitching, I guess it was 2018 when I got back into it. She was one of the first Flosstubers that I had watched, and I knew she also sewed, so just watching all. My camera still overheats after 30 minutes, so I'm using my iPhone now to try and finish this up. But I was saying about Celeste Creates being at the retreat. It was such a special treat to have another Flosstuber at the retreat and get to meet, I don't know, it's my second one, I think. Jan Hicks was just a few months back, and then now Celeste, and then of course Katie when I first started stitching at Boxcar. That's been a treat to just meet several people that kind of do what I'm doing here and want to share all their crafts, but kind of makes you think how many people are out there that you want to meet. But I was talking about this stitchy box that was at our tables at the retreat, and they had, you know, little gifts and things, so I thought I would share quickly just a few things. Of course, it was all nice little pretty bow with our names on it. They had these chatterbox cups made for us. Like I mentioned earlier, the logo was done by one of the retreaters. Their daughter, I think, helped put together the logo for the retreat, so a lot of things had chatterbox on it. The other Flosstuber that was there was Lisa, the other half of Sassy Southern Stitchers. Megan wasn't there, but Lisa was there, and she gave everybody stickers. So we all, most of us that I noticed, were putting them on their cups. So little table gifts and things that they were passing out was kind of special to see. Some of the things that were in the box that were extra special were just some patterns. We didn't actually have a designer there, but we actually had Annie, the proper stitcher, make a design for the retreat, and thank you so much, Annie. It is just a sweet chart that will be coming out, I'm thinking, in August maybe at the market that they have, but it's called All Is Calm, and everybody that got the box was able to get the All Is Calm pattern. These are some of the things that were on the seats when we arrived. A couple other patterns that she had given that will go on this little Mad for Plaid zippy bag. They gave us the one from Shepherd's Bush. It says I Count, so we could stitch that on there. Or she also had some All Is Bright, or I think that's what it is. It's Bright and Calm. The actual stitch, the proper stitch, put that together that we could also stitch up and put on the bag. And then there was a cross stitch ornament in the box that says Merry Christmas, ya filthy animals, which I think comes from Home Alone. And they gave us the little hoop with the floss to do that with. So that will be another stitch that we can do. The little welcome card they gave us. Welcome to the Chatterbox Stitchers Retreat. We are so happy you are here. And they gave us a few ideas to get our weekend started with the Christmas in July theme. So Katie and Jana put these boxes together. It was just so sweet. Scarlet House, there's several patterns here. From Our House to Yours. The Merry Christmas. I'm not sure if some of these are free patterns. I know I have that one already, but Hello from Liz Matthews. Just looking to see who the other makers are. The Twisted Family is another. Of course, I said the Scarlet House, and they had models up there at the counter showing some of the finished designs, which was kind of neat to also see. And Hands-On Designs Mary pattern was at our seats. This was kind of the stitch agenda for the week as things fall. We had bingo on Thursday night, and then Friday we did, what is it? Oh, we all wore our Chatterbox shirts. I'll share those in a minute. And then they had the class times written. And then Saturday was also, I kind of circled the times that I signed up for, and then we had the exchange after dinner on Saturday. So now I have this one for my Chatterbox Stitchers. I have purchased one like from the Housewives, Stitching with the Housewives. So I have a couple. I've got one on the way from Lost in Stitches, Lisa. She had some shirts for sale before the retreat, but it didn't get mailed until just the other day. So I will have that one coming. This one was the one on my mannequin, Sable Stitchers, so that's the one I wore the first day. And then the second day, like I said, we wore the Chatterbox for the pictures. And then the third day, I found this one online, and I had to get it because, of course, I have to have coffee. Coughing and stitching are the two favorite things. So those are some of my stitchy shirts that were purchased for the retreat. I'm also going to share a few of the things that I purchased prior, knowing that I would need. Well, let me share this real quick. When I went to the quilt shop, I did buy some fabrics, and I'll share those on my quilt tube, but they also have honey at the ranch, so I got me a little bit of their honey. Oops. And I've been collecting the little zipper charms, so when I was over there after seeing the snowflake, I know I didn't have the iron, so I purchased a little charm with an iron on it. And then the Stay Sharp magnetic ones for your needles. I also picked that up. But on Amazon, before I went to the retreat, I bought a couple things that I was going to share also. So I guess this is considered haul portion. This box, I had seen one of the ladies, Rebecca. She was also at the retreat. But we stitch on monthly stitch days, monthly there, and she had this, it's like an art box. And she said she got it from Amazon, so of course you have to go to Amazon and look for it. And I found this one in the green color. So I went ahead and purchased it, and I'll just turn it around here. I like it because it's got a little easel that will sit, and you can put your pattern on the top and stitch from it, and then have all your little stitchy stuff that you need. Needles, pins, markers. You can put your magnets up here, scissors. So I have those in here. My other little cases, so I'll probably add the one that I just purchased and put needles in one, snag nabbits, things like that that you always need when you're stitching. And the good thing about it is it all closes up nice and neat if it's not too full. So making sure things lay flat is the tricky part. Probably don't need that in there. So yeah, and it just clasps closed, and you also have a little handle with it, so it's easy to carry. I've been putting it in the little wrapper that it came in, because I don't want to ding it up and stuff. But that's another Amazon purchase that I had at the retreat with me. I also seen this, I don't know what they call it. You can put it on like an arm of a chair, or here at my desk it'll sit nicely. But the chair I was sitting in, I actually had it on the side, and I was able to put some of my projects inside there with pens and pencils. But I'll show you the name. Well, it just shows you how to put it together. It doesn't really tell you the name of it, but I will link it below. And it's got a hard wire at the top, so it's kind of stiff, but it holds a lot. There's lots of pockets and hooks if you want to hang your scissors. 2 pockets here. Oh, that's someone's card they gave me. Yeah, oh, that's from Lisa, the Sassy Southern Stitchers. So if you haven't seen their Flosstube, that is one that I would recommend, as well as Celeste Creates. But that was a purchase from Amazon before I left. I thought I could use that next to my chair to hold all the, pens and pencils. But I also needed something that I knew I wouldn't have time to make. A lot of people make those stitchy mats to have in front of them with their stands and such. But because I ran out of time making all those other bags, I went on Amazon looking for a stitchy mat. This really could be used under a sewing machine also. But of course I had seen this and couldn't pass it up. It has coffee, but it has pockets here, at least 3, plus this huge basket here that you could put, anything in, really, your trash or anything like that. But I really like the quality of it. I could probably make something like this, but haven't had a chance to do that yet. So when it had the coffee logos on it, I said, yep, that's for me. So that was another purchase that I had gotten for the retreat. Besides, I don't know if you can see it behind me, is, and I can insert pictures also, of the mini fridge that I had purchased. Just thought it would be nice to have that for the chocolate, etc., things in the car that I didn't want to melt, and then have that in my room if I get thirsty at night or whatever. I'd have that little fridge next to me, and didn't cost too much, but I am pleased with how it worked for me. And so now that I'm home, I'll just keep it here in the craft room and have something to put my drinks in back here if I need a ginger ale, or I have V8s. I like my tomato juice, so things like that are in there currently. A few things for crochet that I had purchased online. A couple of crochet hooks, and the company is Orfire Company. Decided to pick a couple of colors that I knew I would use and common sizes, 4mm. Really like the way they're smooth, they hold in my hands nicely. So that one's a 4mm, kind of a pearly white color. And then of course, if you know me, you know my color. The mint turquoise green, I did that in a 5mm. So I've got 2 new crochet hooks that I purchased, and I do love the way that they work. They worked great on the towel holders, so that was a purchase. Pretties and Prim, Doreen was selling some stickers. I don't think they're selling them anymore. She could only sell what she had because I guess there was a situation with copyright, but here is her card. There's another Flosstuber that is very good. She also does wool projects. Doreen is her name, but she had these needleworker stickers that like you could put on your cups and stuff. So I had seen that and went ahead and purchased a few of those. Gave a couple away and kept one for myself. A chart that came out that I hadn't purchased yet that I had to get was Hope. Just what we all need at these times. And that one is from Sambria Stitches, Becca. So I like the series that she's doing with these, so hopefully she'll get all of the faith, hope, and love. So I went ahead and got that one, made sure I put that in my cart and checked out. Bought a couple of these when I seen them. I'd seen somebody using them on hoops, and I'm gonna try them. I haven't tried them yet. I gave a set away and I kept a couple for myself, but they're like sheet grippers for your sheets. But I would think I was watching Karen Combs, or it might have been Sherry from Colorado Cross Stitcher. They were mentioning how they are good on your hoops to keep your fabric stretched. So I am going to give those a try. So I have a couple of those. Oops. A Dritz thread holder, because I am in the process of trying to figure out all my threads. Hopefully I will get to that soon. But as for sewing threads, I'm thinking even my silks and Aversois, or even sulkies, if I get too many. I currently have them in a container, and I might slip in a video to share with you how those are stored now. I purchased, it's actually for watch bands for your Apple Watches, but I put all of my Aversois silks in that, and it holds a good 75, so I will stick a picture in of that. And I did post a video also, I think on my YouTube, or it might have been Instagram, of how that works and how I put it together, but I will also add that here in this video as well, so you can see how I have a few of my things stored now. Another 123 stitch order, like I had mentioned in my last video, was also got purchased back in, when was this? Oh, back in June, the end of June I did this one. I got mostly fabrics. They're 36 count white Edinburgh for my Hello from Liz Matthew pieces that I'm doing. I wanted to be sure I had enough for all 12 when they come out. I think she's got 10 out right now. So I wanted the last 2 pieces for 11 and 12. And then Twin Peak Primitives, another one that I like, had their Europe sampler come out, so I had to get that as well. And then I went ahead and bought a cashel linen half yard 28 count piece that will go with that piece. So I have the fabric and the pattern, just need to kit up the colors. So always in process projects going. So that was another one that happened in the last few months. I'm just gonna set things off to the side. Always at Hobby Lobby or Joann's and places like that. So I seen these little scissors, picked those up. And I know I've shared these on here before for the Weeks die works that you can put on the flosses to help them hang better. Well, I had heard there were other ones that have the round holes. So I bought a 300 pack of clear self-adhesives that will work with the round holes on your flosses. So I bought a stack of those, and I can link all this stuff in my description. These are cylinder ice molds that also work with your on-the-go silk when you want to take it somewhere. So they of course had it in the green. I had to get that. And I think it was Shelley from Antique Needleworkers that had mentioned these. And so I looked up a couple different kinds. I haven't tried these yet, but these ones hold 3, 6, 9, 10, and then this one holds 8. So a couple options that I want to try when I take my spool threads, sulky or Verosoie. Those are also going to come in handy, I think. I had some beads that I was going to try this tray on. One of my friends, Nancy, had posted that, I forget who it was, that was showing this tray, but it's to hold beads and it's magnetic. I haven't actually tried to use it yet, but it's got an acrylic top, and I don't know if you can see, if I get close enough, how you set the beads, and the picture shows that. So I think since it's nice and flat, it will fit into your on-the-go bag easily if you're doing a project with beads, which I have a couple in the whips, but I haven't actually had to do the beading yet. So once I do, this is what I'm planning to put them in and use. But it's SVARTUR. I think that was covered up when I shared it. It's bead cool with, so I can't even pronounce it, Savarter. But if you're interested, that's something you can research on Amazon. It was a purchase off of Amazon. And then this is a couple months back, but my friend and I went to Whitesboro and did like a little crafty time at some of the stores in town. And the next two purchases are because of that trip. We go into these little antique places, and I had found this tablecloth, but it really smelled bad. Like it had been in a, I don't know what you call it, a cupboard or something for a long time. So because of that, I went and asked and researched online what people do. Right now it just smells like the vinegar and the spray that I put on it, and then I washed it a couple times. But it is a tablecloth, and I thought it was one of those ones that I couldn't leave at the store because it's just too pretty for Texas bluebonnets. I had to get it. I'm not going to undo the whole thing, but I'll just show you one of the edges. On all the four corners is a nice little embroidered blue bonnet, and then it goes all the way around in the black. And the very center, well, I guess I do need to unroll it all, otherwise you're not going to be able to see it. Kind of hold it up in front of me. But that's the center, and I just thought this would make a nice summer cloth if I want to put it on a table. It fits on my coffee table in my spare room perfectly right now. But with that smell, I couldn't get it out, and I had heard a couple people recommend this other product that I had purchased called Retro Clean. So I'm going to try that because it still has a little bit of a smell to it. It says you just soak it and make sure it's not color fast, which I've done that already with the other solvents that I've used, and nothing's running, so I'm thinking it'll be fine when I put this into a gallon of warm water, is what it says, and completely immerse it and soak it for 48 hours, and then give it a good wash afterwards, and hopefully that smell will be gone. But at least it doesn't smell up the room like it was before, when I would just have it in a room and you'd walk down the hallway, you could smell it. But now it's not that bad after I use the vinegar and water spray. So I think that was it for all of the haul. I will share now just a couple of the new starts that I did while I was at the retreat, so that you can kind of see what's been happening, because I told myself I wanted some new starts. So I'll set those off to the side. The first one that I started, and I had mentioned in my last video, Jan Hicks had her CRS 1713 part 1 out. I hadn't started it at the time, but I had purchased the fabric and the chart, and what happens after that video is I went to Hobby Lobby and kitted it up with the DMC colors. So that happened since my last video. And how I do it, I think I mentioned in my last video with the little printer that I have. I put the little card inside, and it's on the ring, so that I know that these flosses go to that. So if it gets separated for some reason, I won't have lost flosses. But I have enough floss tags on here for the DMC that I did purchase. And the only ones that I have on the ring is the color that I've used. So I'm currently using the green color. That was my start when I was at the retreat, and I will share that with you. And it is a 56 count, which I cannot see unless I have a good magnifier. So the black magnifier that I'm using was working fine when I was at the retreat, so I was able to start it. But when I got home, I don't know if the way it screws, something's stripped on it. So I'm going to either have to try to fix it, or I'm going to have to find another light. These lights that I have here in the craft room would be good, except they are stationary. They're not really a travel light. So I'm going to have to figure that out. But until then, I have set this off to the side. But I am on 56 count here. I'm probably going to have to go sideways so that you can see how little those stitches are. But I did get a little bit of a start on there, and I am pleased with it. I can insert a picture of what the pattern will look like, and I think I did in my last video also, of the full piece. But this is just part 1. Since I last seen you, also part 2 has come out, and I think part 3 is also out. So I need to go on to 1, 2, 3 Stitch and see if part 3 is out. Then that will be a purchase in the next day or so. But I think there'll be 4 parts total, and then once, I think that's what you said, 4 parts. But I will just keep going at it, and I am pleased with 56. I thought maybe I wouldn't be able to see it at all, but if you have a 10 times, what do you call them, magnification, you are pretty good to be able to see that. So I do wear glasses as well as the magnification, so I do have to be sitting a certain way. You know, there are always things like that that you have to figure out, but I did want to get that started during the retreat, as well as this other autumn one that I picked to start, because all the retreaters, they didn't have to participate, but they were telling us if we wanted to start a Brenda Gervais piece, that's what everybody was going to do. So I brought along a piece that I had kitted up for Brenda Gervais through Country Samplers, and it's called Autumn Splendor. So I really like this one when I'd seen that it came out a couple years ago, I think, or maybe a year ago. So I purchased it, and it was kitted with the fabric, and it's all the called for. And I got a pretty good start on it, I would say. I started at the bird on the tail and went down, you know, from the middle. I did a middle start on this one. So I am very pleased with that start, and I plan on keeping this one out in my plans. So getting ready for fall, since it's mid-August, September and October, you start to get into the feeling like fall and wanting to see cooler weather. Not that we'll have it, but that was a second start for me at the retreat. I kitted it up, like I said, in the kit. It came with all the called for colors, so I just put those on those week's floss holders, I guess, and they do lay, I guess, neater on those, and then you can see the color that I'm using. It's got a little piece left on it, but I put a little bird fob on there and keep that in there in this little bag that is easily taken. And tomorrow is our sit and stitch, which I think I recorded 2 months ago, the day before our sit and stitch. So this is probably one of the ones that I'll take tomorrow and see how much further I can get on that. I'm trying to think what else we have. I kind of lost my notes with all of this stuff sitting everywhere. Oh, I have a couple more things behind me here, I noticed, and off to the left. So I'll use this table behind me and lay things. Mentioned the classes that we took at the retreat. Well, because of that class, there was some purchases. And I also seen some finishing things online when I got home. So I bought a bunch of pins. So these pins are for a square finish on a block. I think it was 2 Needles Pulling Thread that was sharing that. And I went to the post that she mentioned about how to make a square finish without gluing. And so they were showing how to do the pins. So I purchased, they're called bridle and lace pins. So I'm going to try a square finish when I get some of my finishing things done. And then the pins that I'd made at the retreat, I didn't share those, so I will, well, I shared one of them in my finish. You've seen the red and green. These ones have pearls on the top. One is kind of Valentine's with hearts, and the other is like a Christmas tree. So because of that and how I did it, I wanted to have the supplies for that. So I purchased the longer crochet pins off of Amazon, as well as, sorry, they're still in the plastic. These ones have like little crystal bobs at the top. So I think they'll make cute pins for putting inside your finished work. And I will definitely be using these in a finish. When I get one that needs a pin, I'll have those. So I was very pleased with a couple of those finishes at the retreat. And the glue that they said to use when making those pins, I had to go on and get a couple tubes of it called B7000. Apparently it's a little bit stronger for when you're putting the pins on. They don't move around or slide down when you use this B7000. So that's why I purchased that, and it looks like it comes with a few ephemeras and tweezers and just little things to help put the glue on, the dabbers, I guess. So that will be fun. Everyone at the retreat got a door prize, and my door prize ended up being, you get to choose from what was left on the table when your number was picked. I went with the laundry basket quilts from Moda, of course blue and white. I don't know if I can do it like everybody else does, but it's just got some cute fabrics there that I will end up making something with. It's a charm pack, I think is what they call that, 42 squares. So that was a fun little gift that was given. The exchange, I actually picked, her name is Judy, and she's actually the mother of the owner at Boxcar Quilts. I picked her exchange, and it is the cutest thing ever. It's a little pillow that says Chatterbox Stitchers, and it's got two little girls holding or exchanging floss, I guess. I thought that was so cute. And then on the back it says, a man works from sun to sun, and a woman's work is never done. It is the cutest little thing. And then inside of this was, you know, she had put it in a little bag. She has lots of little floss things and a book holder. And then she had also made, everyone at the tables, I think, was her table gift, but she also put another one in the exchange gift. So it's a little orc catcher that goes flat and easy to take and go anywhere. So that will be going in my on-the-go bag. If I can get it snapped. So that was a cute exchange that I was very happy with to get, and I will probably just display it inside here with her things when I put things away, but that will also go probably up with all of my other little pillows that I've made as well as been gifted. So that was a fun little exchange. Of course, always fun candies and things that I haven't even touched yet. My roommate, her little happies to everybody was some candies, and she gave everybody a scissor fob that she made and put beads on. It's just so cute with these scissors. It's a very cute set. Katie made us a coaster, which is perfect for putting our cup on all weekend. It was very, very sweet. But Katie is also a quilter, sewer. Got the little trim up there. It's very cute. Retreater had a needle book with some little stitches in here. So cute. She actually stitched on a little frame, Chatterbox Stitchers, and a little strawberry needle book with needles in it. Just so cute. Lots of things we can put in all of our projects. And then Celeste made everybody from Celeste Creates a strawberry. So it's my very first strawberry. So cute. And then she put in some yo-yos that her mother, I guess, had made. So those will be very fun to do something with. But my very first strawberry, I'm gonna probably have to make a little display area of all my first retreat fun. 3 things that have just kind of impressed you and wanted to have, so I had to get. The first one, of course, being in Texas, in the heat. And what really happened was my daughter's a postal carrier now, so she's out in the heat, and there was an incident when she passed out in her car, and it scared me. So I had purchased her one first, and it's a fan that you put around your neck and it keeps you cool. So thankfully she's okay, but because of that I made sure she had a few things that would help her stay cool, and I had researched online what the well-known and best working ones were that from the reviews that I listened to, and this one is called Calm Life. It was about $35, but it's well worth it. And what I like about it is it doesn't take batteries. You can actually charge it, so you can use it, and I've used it for almost an hour and it still shows 3 bars. So I think after an hour it might go down to 2, but I have yet to see it go past the 2. So it keeps a charge for a long time, as well as keeps you cool. So when I purchased it for her, I wanted one knowing how hot it has been and going to be, and being in my almost 60, well, in another year I'll be 60. I do get hot flashes, so this is perfect. It goes around my neck whenever I have a flash come on, or if I'm out in the yard and have to do a little bit of work and can't come in right away. Having this around my neck and just turning it on, you get that cool air blowing up at you, which is, I guess, one of my favorite things lately. So that's, yeah, the favorite things section. So that was a purchase because of that, and because of the retreat again, and meeting Lisa and Megan at the stitching events that I've been to. They shared on one of their Flosstubes this tray, and I had been waiting for it to come into stock, and it finally did. So because of that, I had to purchase it, and the lady let me know when it came in stock, and I went on to Etsy to get it, and this is her card. If I can get it up there for you. Sherry Ward at Creative Stitches, I think is what it says. But just screenshot it if you want to look, and she might have some more in her Etsy shop. I haven't looked lately, but when she sent it, I was hoping it would be here for the retreat, and thankfully it was just in time. I actually didn't get to the retreat as early as I wanted because I was waiting for this tray to get here, because I knew it was going to be delivered the day I was leaving. And it fits my stitch stand that I use to hold my pattern. It can hold scissors and what have you. But what I came to know at the end of the retreat, this was one of the things that I had put on the brag table. It actually fits perfect down in here, and if I can find me a piece of plexiglass, I think I'm going to want to put this in here as a finish. But hopefully that is something that will happen here soon if I can find the pieces needed. But I thought that would be perfect as a reminder of when I had gotten it, as well as for Christmas, and being a stitch piece that I had made. So that was a new favorite thing that I purchased, as well as lastly, my little utility cart. When I go places, especially to the lake, I use this to put all of my stitchy stuff in, and it works great. I love the glide on it, and it is an Amazon purchase, and I can link it below. But it folds flat for storage. That's why I have it flat now, because I'm done with it until I go somewhere. Tomorrow when I go to the stitchy, this is what I'll put my stuff in. It holds my Patoki stand. It holds my blue toolbox that I put all my stuff in, plus the bag that I put all of my projects in. So it's the perfect tote for me when I am on the go. Instead of all the different bags that I was carrying, this is just the one that I have been bringing. So I'm very pleased with it, and of course it's in my color. I'm not going to unfold it to show you, but maybe I'll slip in a video if I think of it when I'm uploading, of how I put it together and actually how it rolls. But you can also go online to Amazon and see the product reviews, and they'll show also how nicely it works. So I think that's it. I might have one other insert that will be the Stitchy Kindness that I've gotten between now and the last time I've videoed, and things that have been given to me at Carrollton at the stitching events that I go to weekly. They always bringing things and sharing things with us, so because of that, and then I've had a couple early birthday gifts, so I will insert that after this segment so that you can see the different things that I've accumulated. And for now though, that's going to be Flosstube 24. I appreciate you following me. If you like these kind of videos and want to see more, just like and subscribe, and we will see you probably another month for Flosstube 25. But thanks again for joining me. Bye. Hi friends, we're going to try this little insert as well. I went from my GoPro to my phone, now back to my GoPro again. I had to let it cool off, but there was a little section I didn't add to my Flosstube that I needed to just cover quickly. I forgot to mention another item that I had worked on the last couple months at the old craft store that we meet together for rug hookers as well as crafters. One of the ladies was doing a little tutorial on, I guess it's called needle darning. So this is the little kit that we got, and the supplies with a 24 needle, a skein of pearl cotton, and then the wool to make I decided to do a needle book. And so I did a few rows and I thought I would share that. It's just in and out, back and forth with the pearl cotton, and it will make a little needle book. It has a piece of felt to put your needles, but the actual pattern shows the diagrams of going in and out with the piece, and then if we have questions we can always ask her, but it looked pretty simple, so I did start that also and brought that to the retreat with me to work on. I think I did one row at the retreat before I put it away, and then at the retreat they had like a giveaway table where people brought things for people to take if they wanted, and they had some black 14 count Ada that I had picked up, as well as this little kit that is like a bookmark, but I loved the little blocks that are on it. Thought I would try to do that. Shouldn't take too long, maybe on the go kind of stitching in the car. So those were a couple of things that I picked up at the retreat that I didn't share. And then the rest of these items here that I wanted to share were just some things that my friend brought me or the ladies at the old craft store bring and say, take what you want. Nobody, wanted it, so there were some crochet books with edging, and this has patterns and things in it, little leaflet things that they had, some cross-stitch patterns that my friend brought that she didn't want, Bluehoo stitches. So I'd share these really quick. There's some cute patterns that I think, I've put in my collection. If I don't end up doing them later, I will probably pass them on as well. She also brought me a 25-26 little calendar. And then, of course, she knows my color. 2025. Bigger kind of a calendar that I will probably end up using as my stitchy book, like Lori Sykes' book that I have. I probably won't buy next year's, just because as much as I used it, I like to write things down on the note pages, and I need to really make a copy of the ones that I did use. Another pattern she brought that I just fell in love with, because I do collect dimensions, but when it came to Charles Wysocki, I don't know if this one's in print anymore, but it's My Hometown Book 1. I thought, oh my gosh, yes, I want that. So that's going to go into my collection. The other thing that was at the old craft store that they were giving away, and this is one of my whips that I have on here, but it's a stand, and I've got to figure out different ways that I can use it. But it also has like a screw here that you can unscrew and put a tilt on it, so I can see myself kind of using it like the Patoki stand. Just gotta get it to a point where it's really tight and it won't fall. But I can see myself using this as another option for stitching at a table. But I just thought, I've never seen one. I can't find any markings on it, so I don't know what kind of a stand it is. You could also twist it a different way so that it, you know, the different screws on it make it twist sideways, so it could also be like that. But I just have to play with it and see. So that was offered to me, and I went ahead and took it. So I have plenty of options for stitchy stands. But right now I have my July one on there because I was trying to get a little more done on that. Another book that was there was Dictionary of Embroidery Stitches. This is an autumn wool pocket pattern. A little kit for a sheep. A quilted Crow Girls perfect pair. And then this is a Blackbird Sings pattern. And then these are little needle books. So we were able to go through all the things that were there and take what we thought we might use. And I've been wanting to make a few of these, so I thought having the pattern would be very helpful. Another needle book for a wool sewing basket. This was like an option for a framing. It's a clipboard, but it's also a frame. So I thought that would be good in my finishing things. A samples and stitches book that I will love going through. June in a Jar. DMC cross stitch piece by Romy's Creation. And then an applique book. And then a couple other stitchy kindnesses that were given to me. My friend Nancy, the last time we went to Boxcar, picked me up one of these binding spools in my color. And a while ago she had given me a little pot holder that says I'd rather be stitching. I had not shared that before, so I thought I would bring those kind of things in. And my birthday is in August this month. And she gave this to me early because of the retreat that I went on. But she had someone make a very lovely project holder, which holds more than one project, and I love it. It's got so many pockets. The snap pocket here comes off, as well as a zipper here, a pocket there. It's got scissors as well as a needle holder in there. And then on this side is two pockets that zip, and another big pocket here. And it all closes up with handles. And the Texas theme on it, because we're in Texas, and then the little zipper fob that's on there. And I use this to carry my works in progress to the table every day at the retreat. And like tomorrow, I'll be putting my projects in here that I'm taking to the sit and sew at Boxcar. So this will get used, and I just love the quilting on it. I forget who she said made it. I'll have to get the information and maybe put it underneath on the description for that maker, because it's lovely. If I could sew like this, I would be tickled pink. I mean, mine aren't as straight. But I'll get there. And then the other thing she brought me after the retreat is this little stool. And it works good. I like the cushion on the top. So my next retreat, this is probably the stool that I'll be bringing, because I did notice a lot of the ladies were using stools at their feet to rest their feet on, since you're at your chair most of the day. So that was a very happy gift. And then lake giveaways, that I was at the lake this past weekend, and I just thought I would share because I am a coffee lover. This little thing was a winning prize for a couple pictures that my husband and I had taken and posted on Facebook. We came runner-up and won this at the lake this past weekend. So I think I might put that in my kitchen somewhere, I'm not sure yet, or I might even do it in here since it does have the teal colors. And then as a door prize, we also won a little tea towel with lemons on it. So I was seeing something that somebody was using to make a project, and they put something with their tea towel, so I might be doing that with this tea towel. So that was a fun weekend that we had, and I didn't share some of the plans being that it's my birthday month. I am going to start a new project, of course, for my birthday, and I thought I would share the one that I'm going to do. My friend Nancy is also going to stitch it with me. It's called When Cardinals Appear. I think I shared that I was kitting this up when it came out recently, and I did get the flosses for it, and the fabric is in there. I'm trying to remember what fabric it is. Yes, I got it at 123 Stitch. It is a 36 count vintage country mocha, and then I am using all DMC for this project, but I will be starting that on my birthday, August the 15th this year, for my birthday start. So I wanted to put that in here and share. That's my plans for my birthday start this year, and if anybody wants to do that with me, I know a few people have purchased it, but that's what I'll be doing. I know she has the bluebird one, but I love cardinals, and getting closer to Christmas, I thought it would be perfect for a birthday start. So thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.